Yo, what's going on, guys? This is Jonathan, and today I'm bringing you a video about almost or maybe getting an MTI in trouble. Now, I'm going to tell you the story about what happened and how we handled the situation. It took place in BMT. This is a BMT story, and it was right around the 6th and 7th week of training. So when you have lots of freedom, but they're also being really strict on you to make sure that any mistake you make, no matter how big or how small, like you made a mistake and not to do it again, right? So this is kind of controversial for some people. It's not like some crazy thing where I'm gonna get in trouble with the military or anything like that. We literally just used our resources. But some people are like, oh, you're a wussy, except they use another word, but I'm not gonna say that on this channel. But they were just kind of calling us, bad words for what we did. But I think that since their perspective was different than our perspective as people who are married and some people who have kids and stuff like that at BMT, I just feel like they didn't understand, and I can understand their perspective in a way too. So I'm gonna jump into it so you're not super confused, right? So this took place the 6th and 7th week of BMT, right at the end of it, when any mistake you make, whether it's big or small or literally anything, they're super critical about, because they want you to be perfect. As the weeks go on, you have to just keep getting more precise and more perfect and more perfect. That's just the way that it's set up. So what happened was our MTI was he was a really good MTI throughout up to the 5th week of training, right? It was just completely normal, normal D-Rocks, normal use for the week, normal 341s pulled. It wasn't crazy. But he was super competitive, and so he always had this side to him where he wanted to be better than the other flights. He wanted to be harder on us so that we would look better, I guess, right? And we had this one guy in our flight, and he would mess up every single time. He would mess up and mess up and mess up and mess up, every day. Whether it was moving his hand when we were at attention, or holding his salute wrong, or not giving a reporting statement, or not standing at attention when he gave a reporting statement, or whatever it was. And he would always get us in trouble and get himself in trouble. And eventually, I feel like he was the main reason this happened. But our MTI was like, all right, since it's almost the 6th, or it was almost the 7th week of training, your family's gonna start coming soon. For every time anybody in your flight messes up, he's talking to the whole flight, I'm taking 5 minutes away from your time with your families. And at first we were like, what? I mean, obviously we didn't say anything because we're in BMT, we're like that the whole time. But as soon as he left or whatever, we were like, what? This is crazy. I've been working for 2 months as hard as I could, working out as hard as I can, pushing myself to my absolute best. And now they just want to take away our time with our families and our wives and our kids because some idiot just wants to mess it up for the rest of us. Or this guy doesn't care about BMT and seeing his family like I care about seeing my wife who was coming to visit me, or my parents, or my sister who I hadn't seen in 2 years because she lives in a different state. I wasn't about to let that happen to me and other people in my flight with kids and families who have been working for so long for that moment to see their family, right? Because if you get in trouble at BMT and they're like, all right, you can't go out for 30 minutes or whatever, which isn't really practical because literally no other MTI does that. If that were the case, when everybody else got released for base liberty or town pass or whatever day they took it from, you'd be sitting in your dorm, twiddling your thumbs, rolling and folding until that time passed, and then your family would have to meet you. And it would just, that would suck so bad. And a lot of people, like I said, were like, oh, whatever, we just have to work harder, don't be a wussy about it. But no, there was literally no other MTI at BMT that I know of in the squadron who was doing that to the people that were graduating the same week as us. And this is how my MTI almost, or maybe did, get in trouble. He kind of played it off like he didn't, he was the nice guy. But there's these forms in the hallways at BMT, whether you're down at CQ, whether it's in your stairwell, or your MTI gives it to you. There are forms, and it's almost like a complaint form. I know people will make fun of the Air Force for having something like a break card and you get to use 3 of them or something like that, which is completely not true. But there is a form in the hallway, so if something goes wrong, you have a crazy complaint, or like you got sexually assaulted or you got abused or in any sort of thing along those lines, that's what that form is for. Like if you just need to talk to leadership, and it's actually a practical reason why you need to talk to leadership, not just like, my MTI yelled at me. Like, it has to be a practical reason. But that's what those forms are for. And they have a little submit box underneath them. You just drop the form in, and then you're good to go. And, I mean, there were at least, like, 80% of the flight was like, all right, yo, like, I mean... We all kind of had the idea, a lot of us had the idea to get the forms, fill them out, tell them what happened. Like, we wrote like paragraphs like, I've been working super hard to see my family, like I understand BMT and I understand like the getting in trouble aspect of that, and that's totally cool, but I feel like we shouldn't be suffering outside of BMT in that essence, like just because somebody else on our flight messes up. Like, they should get the punishment from they should get the time reduced for the time with their family, rather than taking it away from every single person, because like it's just too far, right? So we literally had like at least 40 people fill out these forms. Like, majority of people in our flight, after everybody got recycled and everybody got kicked out, like the people that were left, like 80% of them agreed, like, yo, we need to fill out these forms. Like, I'm not trying to lose time with my family because this kid just wants to keep being an idiot. So we filled out the forms and we submitted them. Everybody wrote like, yo, like that's not cool, basically, obviously. I kind of had a really bad way of explaining that earlier, like a couple minutes ago, but hopefully it all made sense. Like, it's just kind of crazy. Like, so we got the forms, we filled them out, but eventually some time went on, and it had been like 3 days, and he kept taking away time. I mean, like, we had lost like 3 to 4 hours at this point, and it was literally because of like 5 people who literally just didn't care, and it was so terrible. And like, we were tripping. We were all like, man, you know, cussing and stuff like that. We were pissed off. And eventually, it was like near the end of the day, a couple days later, something like that, and we get told like, yo, you need to go to the day room, and you know, somebody's gonna come up and see you. And we were like, what the heck? So we get into the day room, and then our, what is it? I'm not sure. I don't remember like the whole rank structure of BMT, but you have like the commander of your stairwell, basically, and she's not the DO. I don't know what she was, but she's like the officer that's in charge of your whole section, and then the commander of the squadron's in charge of that. So it kind of replicates like, you know, the actual squadrons, and then the groups, and then the wings. It's kind of like that structure, so you kind of have an understanding for it. But anyways, the officer, she came into our day room, and she like briefed us all. She's like, look, I understand the situation. A lot of you submitted forms for this reason. We are not going to let that happen. Nobody is going to take time away from you. That is not how this works. And like, she gave this whole spiel about it. Like, I don't know whose idea it was to do that. Like, they've been talked to, just tons of stuff like that, right? So obviously we just, we had this like huge relief. Like, yes, like I'm going to be able to see my wife. I'm going to be able to see my family. I'm going to be able to see my kids. Obviously, not me, but for other people. And, it was great. And a lot of people were still complaining after that, like, I don't know why you freaking wrote those, like, that was stupid, like, you shouldn't be a wussy about it, you should just deal with it. And I was like, no, like, that's stupid. Even she thought it was stupid, like, it's so dumb. So basically, I don't know if our MTI got in trouble about it. Like, obviously they're not gonna come in there and be like, oh, your MTI got in trouble. Like, they're not gonna tell us. But I'm pretty sure he got a talking to about it. Obviously, it's not like you get yelled at in the Air Force in that sense. It depends who your supervisor is. But a lot of the times it's like, yo, you need to not do that, or you need to fix this, and that's pretty much it. So I hope he didn't get in trouble. That was not our intent to get him in trouble. But it's also kind of messed up to threaten trainees with taking time away from their family and friends and kids and all sorts of stuff like that, right? So he came later, a couple days later, whatever. And like right before graduation, he was like, yeah, like I just want to let you guys know, like I want to be a nice guy, and so I'm not going to be taking away your time anymore. And throughout the days leading up to that, he kept taking time away. So he almost tried to play it off as like he was like the cool guy, like, you know, I just want to, you know, give you your time back, you know, because you guys have been acting really good the past couple days and stuff. And I was like, oh my gosh, like I don't know if he knew that they came and talked to us, because it was the other MTI there when she came to talk to us, and he'd maybe not have communicated it or something like that. But it was actually, it's just kind of crazy. So I don't know if he tried to be the cool guy or if he actually had no idea or whatever the situation happened. I still ended up seeing my wife every single day, and we got an extra town pass because the water lines on base were broken that day or something, so that was pretty cool. So anyways, thank you so much for watching. Let me know what you think of this situation down below. I want to get other people's opinions. I mean, I have my opinion, I have my bias, and I mean, nobody's gonna change my mind. Like, I'm trying to see my wife, so. Also, don't forget to leave your ship dates down below, and any questions you may have about my life, whether it's Air Force related, or whether it's like what car I drive, or where is your art? Shameless plug, because the links are down in the description, and you should go check that out. I make art pretty consistently and upload it on Instagram, Behance, and Dribbble, and all sorts of stuff like that, so I'd appreciate it if you went and followed that as well. Anyways, don't forget to subscribe, and again, thank you so much for watching, and peace out.